meeting of School Board. Number one, we have the public hearing at 6:15 for the proposed budget. No one showed, no comments. Number two, opening items, roll call.
Mrs. Ayala. Here. Mr. Bickle.
Here.
Mrs. Hines. Mr. Coleman.
Here.
Mr. Salzbrenner.
Here. Item B, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item C, audience portion. Do we have anyone sign up?
We do not.
Item D, approval of the agenda.
I recommend approval of the agenda as presented. There are no changes or additions.
I'll second.
Make a motion.
Oh, okay, who's gonna make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Is there a second?
I'll second it, let's do that.
I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as presented. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Ayala.
Aye.
Mr. Bickle.
Aye.
Mr. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Salzbrenner.
Aye. Number three, consent agenda.
All right, I recommend the approval of the consent agenda as present. If you'd like, I could read it out loud, but you guys will have a copy.
We need to vote on each one separately.
Just one second.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Mrs. Ayala.
Aye.
Mr. Bickle.
Aye.
Mr. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Salzbrenner.
Aye. Alright, B, approve fall sports extra duty assignments for the 26-27 season.
That's all part of the.
Oh, that's fine. Financial report.
We've got Kim.
All right, turn it over to Abacus and Kim. Hey, Kim.
Hi there. Let me see, can I share my screen? Sarah's gonna try and make it for the budget presentation, but she's in another board meeting currently as well. Okay, so on my screen, you should see the cash flow report for May. In your packet, I was just gonna mention that I know we're here, today is June 29th, and we're reporting May financials. As of June, we have been tracking all the financials throughout the month of June, so our financials still look just as nice as they look on this page for May. Just a little good news there. Something to look at on the cash flow report here for May is we finally received all of our property taxes, all of the prior property taxes that we've been waiting on. So working with the auditors, making sure that I'm aligning everything correctly within the current years. This is where we are at as of May of 2026 with our property taxes as well received. We're looking at May ending as of right now, a positive $409,000. So receiving that property tax was really, really nice. Our days cash on hand are holding steady at about 118 days cash on hand right now. So we have some cash in the bank. We're making sure that we're utilizing Colorado Trust a lot more, and I'll share with that here on the next slide. And does anybody have questions as of May right now on the financials cash flow? Okay, the next one that I wanted to show was the cash account. This is something that I added Dr. yesterday was like, well, we should share how much interest we are really receiving now. So it's kind of nice to see. So what we've added over here with our cash account breakdown, again, as of May 31st, we earned in 1 month $13,000. So that's really, really nice to start putting that away for a rainy day that, you know, may be coming up in the future. So we're making sure that we're really tracking all of our Colorado Trust. The other thing that we discussed today, you'll see this on the June financial reports, is we have created a Tabor Colorado Trust account as well. So this calls out our Tabor reserves that we have it singled out in Colorado Trust. So we know that is also reserved for us.
And we can just keep that, I mean, we can just keep that in there, right? I mean, because we're never gonna use that money, right?
Correct. Yeah, it'll just hang out in there and just, you know, be its own account number.
Right.
Our own bank account. So you'll see that coming up in the June report. So we did that actually today. I didn't want to take too much time on the May financials, I should say. In your reports, you're going to also see the balance sheet. So including the balance sheet, you're going to see that we are starting to clean up accounts. Since we've received our property taxes, we're going through audit cleanup at this point. So we're trying to prep for the audit for 24-25 school year. So we're still going through and doing all audit cleanup on the balance sheet, as well as the revenue and expenditure reports. So your balance sheet is hanging up here. We have that included in your packets, as well as the income statement summary and the income statement details. So if you guys would like me to, or if anybody would like me to go over any details in any of those reports that you received in your packet, please let me know.
I have a question on the revenue report.
Okay.
Pupil activities. What is that?
Pupil activities is the student activities accounts, the Fund 23 activity
Okay.
accounts. So it's just going to sit down here.
Okay. And then my other question is, what is the other revenue from local sources?
That would be our 1,000. So let me get back up here to the top. I have it on the income statement details. It's the same as the revenue report. So that would be our 1,000 codes. So that would be this top. This is our property taxes, our specific ownership tax, and some local revenue grants.
Okay.
With that revenue one, the 400, it says we're at 50%. Are we still waiting on grants from the federal government?
That is correct.
Is that typical of the end of the year, or is that because of all the hectic and craziness going on in the government?
There has been some challenges, I believe, with getting the budget and all of that aligned, but I believe Jared and Madison, Dr. K, if you want to speak up at all, but I believe they've worked on submitting some of the final submissions for those grant receivables. We will be putting those on the books for audit purposes, even if we have not received them as of tomorrow, but we will be reporting them in June.
And they've been working with someone in CDE, so they've been getting like a tutorial. Jared and Madison, who's from Abacus, the lady's name is Christina Attaboy from CDE, and she's been walking us through. So we're on we're on track to get everything completed. It's not really an issue of us. I mean, it's like we're meeting all the deadlines. They're just a little bit slow.
That's what I heard. It's a bottleneck.
But we've been working with CD to make sure everything is accurate.
Any other questions?
I just want to go back to the balance sheet. I don't know if this would be their thing to answer, but like it says, the yearbooks are on the negative. Is that something we're just waiting for checks to come in, or are they always in negative for the high school?
With the high school, yes. Go ahead, Dr. May.
Oh, I was gonna say, I mean, you just had an email exchange about it today.
Yeah. A lot of times that the expenses are sent out and they cost more. I mean, it's up to, I believe, we're gonna be having a meeting regarding your book and making sure that we're not running at a loss. But this current year, I believe they were running at a loss, and this is where the general fund will help subsidize some of those losses, or we could, just kind of, we have to have a meeting to figure out where those, the negative going to be recapped from.
I will
Are
say-
they gonna have any more fundraising, any of those kind of things?
Yearbook is always a tough one though, because you're guessing on how many yearbooks you're selling.
That's what I was wondering.
And then everybody always wants to order the extras for the kids that didn't order them. And then if you order the extras, sometimes you get caught with them. A lot of the yearbook companies will take it back at not full refund, but they'll take it back. But everywhere I've been, the yearbooks are, it's not an exact science because you have to figure out how many to order, and how many are prepaid. And so we're gonna work with Brenda and with Mrs. Woodyard and the high school staff to make sure that moving forward, we have a good plan to attack the yearbooks.
And on that same page with the yearbooks above it, it says cash on hand. That was also in the negative, and also below that it says cash in bank was in the negative too. And what is that? Are those accounts that are like, they're high school accounts, it looks like? But I don't, because it says HS.
No, those are great questions. So that's when we have interfund activity going on, and as of tomorrow, the interfund activity will be balanced as of June. So these negatives at that point will be corrected. That's when the general fund, if we received a credit card and we accidentally paid some of it through general fund, so there's interfund activity going on. So I just need to double check all of that activity. And like I said, that is on the agenda for tomorrow.
Oh, okay. And I think that was it for that one, but then it was the grant funds 22. Are we still waiting on other grants through, let's see, what was the one that was the Medicaid grants? How do we get reimbursed for those? Are those also at the end of the year now, or would that be even later on? Are we waiting on those?
Medicaid grants they do happen a couple times a year, so we should be receiving another one here soon.
And is that how those ESSER 2 receivables happen too? Because that's a pretty large one.
So that one is a carryover from the prior fiscal year, and we're trying to clean all of this up before the 24-25 audit, because we're trying to do everything we can not to have another disclosure. So that's part of our cleanup that the grant team has been working on. So that's why I mentioned that, these are all pre-audit reports. The balance sheet is at least, that we're still working on cleaning it up.
And the ESSER funds were the COVID.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So yeah, it's still COVID money affecting us. All right, I think that was it in the balance sheet. That was it. Yes.
Anything else, Kim?
Nope, that's it at this point.
Any questions for Kim? No?
I like that last document, the expense by object. I like that. That's helpful information.
and it's 118 days.
Right?
And I like the burn rates come down too.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
You know,
Well, I will say that the Abacus team has been a real good partner, you know, this year, getting us through everything we've got through, getting us to the place we're at today where, like you guys said, the burn rates are better, you know, cash on hand is not 12 days or whatever what we hit. So they've done a really good job just helping us organize what we're doing.
There's still small amounts, and not that I was mentioning, but like, yeah, the burn rates are like shocking when you add up those burn rates, just that, yeah, it's huge.
and I really like the taking advantage, using the Colorado Trust to generate interest.
Yeah, it's allowable, and we might as well be getting interest on that.
You know,
All right, thanks, Kim.
I would entertain a motion to approve the financial report.
make a motion to approve the May 2026 financial report.
Second?
A motion and a second to approve the May financial report as presented. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Ayala,
Aye.
Mr. Bickle,
Aye.
Mr. Polovitz,
Aye.
Mr. Salzbrunner,
Aye. Number 5, minutes. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I motion that we approve the minutes of the May 2026 meeting.
Second?
A motion and a second to approve the May 11th, 2026 minutes as presented. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Ayala,
Aye.
Mr. Bickle,
Aye.
Mr. Polovitz,
Aye.
Mr. Salzbrunner,
Aye. Number 6, presentations, building safe schools report.
All right, so we will have our building principals, Ms. Miller, Ms. Apodaca, Mr. Ferguson, Ms. Woodyer, will be presenting reports. So I'll turn it over to the team.
So we know that you've received our reports. We're happy to read them, or if you just want to ask questions, what do you prefer?
I hate to be read to.
I understand.
And I assume that we're all educated enough, and two of them better be, that they can read that. So I'm up for just, if we have questions, asking questions. And I mean, I don't mind going in order. I think the way we have it, it's reverse, it's going that way. But yeah, I'm fine with, if I have a question, just asking it, unless you guys want to be read to. There's no better bedtime story than numbers.
Unless you guys have something prepared that's not on yet.
So this is kind of a general question, if I may, right, where I'm asking a question, to all four of you. I just want to make sure the suspensions, because I've been looking through it, and I looked through it earlier today. When we do a suspension, it's still the old-fashioned way, where they've been, gone through the whole suspended, I'm sorry, expulsion. We've gone through the suspensions, the parental deals and all that, right? And we've done okay. Because I've just had some teachers ask me stuff and I'm kind of like, okay, have you reported it? Well, I've told them, so have you done the writing up? Have you done, well, I shouldn't have to, hang on. And so I don't know if there is a problem with our teacher. I know we used to do it every year in instruments. If you have a kid that is misbehaving, here are the steps you go through to get to suspension to expulsion. I've had a couple, I guess, don't understand. And I would say they're from the high school, just because they know me. So as long as, heck, your numbers, for me, being on the other side of it, I think they look great. And it's not like you're throwing kids out left to right, which that makes you better than I am, because I would love that. So I think you guys are doing a great job. I want you to, I guess if I have anything to say, make sure your staff knows, hey, it's in your hands. You guys have to do the documentation. You have to make contact with the parents too. It can't be, I'm sending them to the office and they keep bringing this kid back to me. Go through those steps. But I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, you guys are doing a pretty good job. I mean, you can't control your decline in enrollment because that's something you can't address. And, I've never heard a complaint about any of, well, of course, a couple of you right now, so. But the other two, so I think you're doing a great job. I really do. The only thing I've ever had brought to me is people that, what I've told you, and they just don't understand it. It's their role to start. And so, yeah, I think you guys are doing great.
Well, and I will say, like at the high school this year, they instituted the minors and majors. They walked through with the teachers of what the different, what are the protocols, and they all of them have. I mean, we are going to suspend. If a kid breaks a policy or endangers other students, we're not going to turn the other cheek. We will make sure everybody in our district is safe, the other students as well. So we're not going to say we want a 0 suspension rate and not address the things. We are, but we go through a process, make sure that they're doing it right. They have come up with majors, minors, processes, and they'll continue to work with the teachers to make sure they understand.
So does each building have your own suspension policies?
No, we all follow the district's policies. We document the exact same way, so we're all really aligned in that.
There might be different practices, but
I guess that was more my question.
But that's more of Mr. Ferguson and I are not going to have the same exact style, but we're going to follow the same policies. So you're going to get the same thing, whether he just might be nicer than me. But we are going to be consistent. Like that is the big thing when we go for expulsions, which we haven't had one this year. If we do, they ask that question, are you consistent with the policy? In other words, if someone else did the same thing, have you done this same practices or followed the same policies and procedures? So that's the important thing for us, that we're consistent and that, we're looking for alternatives. We want kids in school, but there are certain things that we want to make sure all of our students are safe.
When did we start doing capturing kids' hearts? What year that was?
Into year 4, about to start year 4. That actually is something that we report to them, is our suspension and office referral rates.
You can see that it made a drop. So
Yeah.
it's something that, it definitely works.
In order to be looked at for a national showcase school, we have to report all of that stuff.
See, I'm sorry, I've seen the difference between high school and 4th grade, obviously, because I've been in that 4th grade room to assist kids, and some of the patients the intermediate school has, that's awesome, because there's a reason I didn't teach that age kid. And so some of the stuff you guys deal with, and you go through the capturing and just, I think that's awesome. There are kids that come back with positive outcomes from the office that, yes, they might need to go to the office, but I would just say, I don't want them back in my room because they're stressed. They're not necessarily in trouble, but they need a place to go, for them to be away from me and me to be away from them. And you guys, I know, provide that. And I think that does a great job for the kid and for the teacher, because it may not be that kid's that bad. It's just, we're both at that, narrow point. So yeah, I love that. That's great. I'm gonna fall back. Yeah, so, yeah.
I guess maybe for you, Dr. Crumholz, for each one of these buildings, it knows the number of kids that have moved to another district in Colorado. Is there any way we can know where they went?
There is. As long as they reported, some folks just disappear, and it doesn't happen very often, but they disappear and nobody sends for records. But most of the majority, 90-something% of the kids that have left, we know where they're at. Because if they get into any public school, in the state or anywhere, and out of state too, they have to get the records. So that's how we do know. We can run a report if we're looking for specific things. We can run that report and be able to get that.
That would be, I think, useful information to know where we're losing to.
I think though too, a lot of them do relocate for parents' jobs. I mean, there's that misrepresentation that we're losing some to Swing, or Rocky Ford, or Schrock, but I think it's really quite minimal because from being a teacher, I've seen, we'll go to Rocky Ford. While Rocky Ford says their request for transcripts and that kid's failed every class the last 2 years at Lahana, Rocky Ford gets to say, oh, thank you. And they end up coming back to us anyway. So I think, that drain, I mean, we might lose a couple to Swing, a couple to Schrock. But yeah, I think most of it is parent relocation.
Well, and the other thing we're dealing with now is the birth rate. It is hit. The birth rate is, after COVID, is lower. So we are seeing that with our kindergarten roundup. We were down a little bit from past years, and they predicted it. It's not unique to Lahana or even to rural. This is a nationwide issue with declining enrollment, and that birth rate thing is a real deal. I mean, it is going to have an impact for a while.
Yeah.
I have kids with 30 and 20-year-olds, and none of them want kids.
Yeah.
I'm 60, I don't want kids.
I'm a little concerned about the attendance at the high school, in particularly the senior class. Why is that so low?
So attendance is an area that Haley and I are really, Mrs. Romero, our social worker, we're really going to work strongly on this year. We're going to try to put some incentives in place. A lot of it has to do with hours. So it's not like full days, it's like missed periods, but all of that counts towards the attendance rate. So we're going to try to put some incentives in place and try to shift that thinking more in a positive route, as opposed to the negative consequences all of the time, and try to shift their thinking and then wanting to be in school and wanting to be present and doing trying some different strategies to approach that as well.
Good.
Do we still do the concurrent credit classes at the high school? So I remember that was to address that whole upper class thing too, where juniors and seniors would leave campus to go to OJC, and they never come back. So we started doing that concurrent credit. So okay, so we're doing stuff like that. Yeah.
The primary report breaks out in school and out of school suspension. Is everybody else just combining those?
We do it in school, but we didn't put on this report.
So it's in addition. So what's on here is just out of school suspension.
This is just out of school.
And that's the same with ours as well. This is just out of school.
Okay.
I used to actually have the report broken down by reason for suspension too, but it seemed really excessive. So I just went to in school, out of school. That is something that we're thinking about trying to do more of. It's just logistics of trying to make in-school suspension work. But for some kids, that's a more appropriate consequence. So kind of talking through that a little bit for next year too.
And I know our district has tried, we tried Saturday school, we tried in school, we tried summer school for 2 weeks before, So, good luck with that. Sometimes it isn't on our end where we have that trouble, so
Yeah, it can be challenging.
I mean, I really, to be honest, I've sat through, 30-some presentations of this as a teacher and that, and I think your numbers look good. After 32 years of teaching and then being on the board, I think your numbers look really good. So,
Looking at them for the first time, they look good to me. So.
I remember watching within 73% at the high school.
Yes.
Is that dropout rate really legit?
to the high school?
It is, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, 'cause that's pretty good.
Yeah.
We have, I mean, our graduation rate and our dropout rate are above the state average.
Yes.
It's gonna go on the poster, right?
In fact, I got a screenshot on my phone because I was gonna send it to everybody. Then I'm like, no, this isn't new, everybody knows how to do this. But we made a report that was on the internet of, we have, East Otero has one of the higher graduation rates. I mean, it was schools in Colorado. And so I was, we've gotten so much negative stuff on the internet. And I saw that and I was like, yeah! And then I thought, I think everybody saw this.
And for job readiness too, right? And I believe that TTA also plays a big part in that.
Oh,
So,
yeah. And I like the vision, PTA, the new vision, we're not a dumping ground, we're here for a reason.
I like that. It's up to one with a bunch of kids on the team, like next year, the bar is going to be high, so.
Wonderful.
And they're excited too.
I mean, yeah, that's something as a younger teacher too, I would have been right up for it because, not everybody learns the same. Not everybody can do this and get on, so that's good, yeah.
And really, our goal is to make it a school of choice too.
Yeah.
Where kids are choosing, hey, I want to go, that's my learning style, I want to be there. Make it a really positive place for all students. And they've been working on partnering where we're going to share some classes, potentially between Tiger Trades and the high school, give our kids at Tiger Trades and the high school more opportunities.
Any other questions?
No, I think you guys are doing a great job. And, like I said, being a teacher in this district, that was one of the reasons I wanted to be on the school board is because I knew we could get back to, doing, I think you guys, looking at this report, we're doing well, hearing the plans with Dr. K. Sounds like a basketball game, Dr. K. But I think you guys, this is a great administration team. And I think you guys are really on the right track. We're going to be drawing kids from other districts here when word gets out, just like we used to in the early, the early 2000s. But you guys, I commend all of you, all 5 of you. Jared, maybe you back there too? Yeah. Maybe 6, yeah. So good job, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, number 7, superintendent's report and recommendations.
Okay, so I don't have any recommendations. I just have some updates and reports for you. The swimming pool, we are almost ready to reopen it. Because it was sitting, we've had to do some extra maintenance to get it ready, but they're in there now, finishing up the last pieces, and our goal is, within 2 weeks for sure, but hopefully by next week after the 4th, we'll be open. So we're just finishing doing some maintenance. We are going to be doing a campaign so our community knows exactly when we're open. We want to make sure this is a service that people take advantage of, what our prices are, and one of the things we're excited about is offering swim lessons. We have the opportunity to do year-round and provide swim lessons for parents or for students. If they, parents sign them up, we'll be doing everything through the Red Cross, and we're excited about just utilizing the pool more effectively. And we have worked with some community members that have come and talked to us about really doing a better job marketing the pool and also expanding some of the services and times so it's not barely open. So really we're excited about that, and that'll be, we'll make the announcement as soon as we're ready to get that thing ready. And like I said, where everything's done, it's just doing some minor maintenance on the ceiling tiles. When you don't have it working for a while, there was some cleanup that we had to do. The strategic plan, we are getting ready we've been working with TNTP. They have a marketing team that's going to help us get it out to our community. But We have completed it. I think I spoke to about it last time, but I'll do it again. The 4 pillars are: 1, academic success for all; 2, pathways, having opportunities for our kids that when they, whether it's a military 2-year degree, 4-year degree certification, they're coming out with the skill sets needed to be successful in the workplace and beyond. And then the final 2 are community engagement, making sure that we're engaging with our families. And the final one is making sure we are putting processes in place in central administration that we effectively are running the district. Financial, that we have all the processes in place for bids, just everything, doing a better job at the central office, managing the district. That was our forward. We felt that was an important one with everything going on that we needed that. And that might not be on there forever because we're cleaning everything up, but for now that is a huge priority that we're focusing on. And then the last thing I have, I just want to make sure everyone's aware, we are being held harmless from the state with funding. What that means is for the next 3 years, if the state legislature passes the hold harmless, I mean, we have to have it approved by the state legislature each year, but for the next 3 years, we are going to be static on what we receive. So if we did happen to grow more than where we're at now, we wouldn't increase those funds. That's the risk we ran doing this. But we're not going to take the hit if we lose kids for the next 3 years. But what that means, we got to be fiscally responsible, because in 3 years, then we're going to have a pretty big drop with our funding from the state, because we're getting, there was also a lot of other things that passed. So we're not, school districts aren't getting what they had been, just some different changes and rules with the funding formula. So we're held harmless for 3 years, so we really have to be paying attention to everything. So when we come out of those 3 years, we're prepared, and we're not gonna fall off a cliff, a financial cliff. And I use that as Glenn Guffison's, he's like the cliff that's coming, but you know, we talked about a long time about doing this, and he said, this is, as long as you guys are doing everything and you're working with advocates and you're prepared for that 3 years, this is a good thing for the district.
So this budget we're going to talk about, that's year 1.
Yes, exactly. Any questions for me?
That was my question, was that?
I do want to reiterate, I guess, I think you're doing a great job, your administration team. All 6 of you guys are doing a great job. So,
Thank you.
All right. We shall move forward to unfinished business. A, approve the 26-27 final budget and appropriation resolution.
Okay, can we get Kim, there's Kim.
And we have Sarah on, can we make her, she is on the Zoom.
Yes, you're present.
Man. I was like, where am I? I don't feel like I'm in some portal somewhere, but how are you guys tonight? I'm sorry I missed the beginning of your meeting. I saw Dr. K do his presentation. That was amazing. Dr. K, you did great.
We think so too.
So, yeah. So this evening, let's see, we have our 26-27 budget, and we just want to point out a couple of things that have changed from that first reading to now this reading that you guys are seeing this evening. And the change has happened in Fund 10, actually. So not to kind of scoot us around and fly through here, so I want to make sure that I'm providing any questions and getting you or you guys providing questions, I'm giving answers if you have any along the way. So, Kim, if you just want to scoot us over to the Fund 10 summary, because this is where the change happens.
Which should be the 5th page in your packet of the budget. I know the page numbers, we'll work on the page numbers next year. My thought is to reach out to Glenn and ask him, what can we do about these page numbers? Because I know it's the CD template, so.
So from the very first reading that we had, the surplus that we are projecting for the FY 26-27 budget originally showed $242,000, and the budget revised that we have this evening on the second reading shows that we actually have an increase of about $30,000, increase to $260,000, $260,054. The reason for that is we did have a salary adjustment that happened, and so that created, we removed the salary, and then that increased the bottom line to go up. So again, it went from $242,000, it's now at $260,000. So other than that, all things remain the same. And like Dr. K just noted, because we are held harmless for the next 3 years, the district will not be seeing any increase in our overall funding when it comes to that state and local revenue areas. And so just want you guys to be aware that that is going to be what numbers we are now budgeting towards over these next couple of years as we go through this whole harmless phase.
One thing sorry Sarah, but like staffing, for example, we will not staff on what we're being funded as far as the students that are not there. We're gonna do our staffing and our funding based on the actual number of students that we have. So we will continue to operate. We're not gonna operate, oh, we got all this extra money. We're still gonna be very serious about looking at everything in the budget and making sure that staffing numbers match the number of students that we have. Sorry, Sarah.
No, you're perfect. Because a lot of times people look at what's considered a surplus and be like, wait, hold on, what are we doing here? One thing that I want to point out is at some point, we also have to start building back some of those district reserves that we've been sort of living on. So, and you'll see that as that top line where it shows that total beginning fund balance. And how we have dropped consistently over the last, years that we even have presented on this sheet. So, and $260,000 of a $16 billion budget is really not that much when you look at it from the bigger scope. But yeah, that fund balance we need to start addressing. We don't want to go wild with it, but we do need to start to build back some of those reserves as well.
And that's in this budget, right?
That is correct, yeah.
A long silent pause for me is good. Okay?
Okay, all right.
That's good.
All right, then the crowd is quiet. I'm okay with that then. I'm sorry, I misread that.
I have a question about Fund 23.
Yeah.
So walk me through that. I guess I'm confused about the bottom line. So I guess my question is, do we have $1 million for What does that fund cover, I guess, is my question.
Yeah, and Kim, this was something that was brought up actually when we were doing the first reading, is that placeholder that we had put in of that 700,000. Right, that, what's skewing the report is that, you know, do we in fact have $700,000 hanging out in a bank account somewhere? And so, because we don't have consistent audits, Wes, Kim and I were building this report, we had put in that 700,000 as a beginning fund balance number. As just, and Kim, I can't remember, that was months ago now why we did that specific number. But as it presents, it looks like, yes, the student activities is coming in with a pretty good chunk of money already. Is that kind of what you're asking, Frank?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So is that $1 million, is that really 300,000? Because you're taking out the 70 or 700,000?
We would, and Kim, I don't want to put you on the spot, if you could just pull up a balance sheet.
I was just gonna say, let me go grab it, because I just had it open for the meeting.
Just because I want to show you where what's the cash balance that student activities account really does have.
Yeah, because it is different on the financial report.
On the financials, yep. Yeah, so in the end of the day, Fund 23 has a grand total sitting in cash currently of that 202. Yeah, so that in real life, Fund 23 has $202,000. This one's been a hard one for us to, we had to pull it aligned correctly in the software. And then again, we're waiting for these audits to be concluded so we can correct what Fund 23's fund balance is.
So in this budget that we're gonna approve, are we moving 150,000 from the general fund to Fund 23?
Yep, and so the way the budget is presented, yes, $150,000 is being allocated, coming from Fund 10 into Fund 23 to help with operating expenses.
And then what's the local revenue? What's the 200,000 from the local revenue?
So that 200,000 is what we've seen as far as transactions go, as far as deposits that the kids' fundraising and activities have brought up over the course of this past year.
Okay, that makes sense. So really that 700,000 should be 200,000.
More like 200, yep.
Okay. That makes more sense. Okay.
Yep.
And I would say, Sarah and Kim, the trickiest part with Fund 23 is they had their own, up until this year, their own software. So, I mean, which is not acceptable, but making those changes and going in, and then, you know, the audits coming, and that has been one of the delays with the audits, is just, it was really tricky, and they've done a lot of work trying to bring that over to the one accounting system, so it's one place to look, and it's all accounted for. Because at the end of the day, we are responsible for all monies, and to not have that, a different software system, just created some havoc. I don't know, Sarah, if you want to.
Yeah, it definitely created a lot of challenge when Kim and I first came in and started to try to get the books all squared away because of having yet another external software piece that was running all of these Fund 23 activity, transactions. And ultimately, kind of to piggyback on what Dr. Kay was saying, is that the district ultimately is on the hook and reliable for these balances. And so what we had to do is make sure that we got them very, very accurate. And so, yeah, that was quite the lift to get it pulled over that Fund 23 has had, you know, $300,000 to $400,000 in revenue, and then all of a sudden we have this pre-audit number of 4,000. And again, it was because of this cleanup that we've had to do with Fund 23.
So is it appropriate to leave the $700,000 placeholder in this budget for approval?
The only spot that creates pause in me, to be totally honest with you, is the fact that at the very bottom, what it's saying is the total appropriation is your ending fund balance and your expenses. And so, and this is kind of I'm gonna do a yeah but with this because CDE would like that we appropriate the fund balance number as well as the fund's total budgeted expenditures. And so in this case, that is overstated due to the fact that we, feel like the beginning fund balance should be more around what that cash balance is that we see. So we could amend this, and it's going to show up again on that resolution page. And so that's the page that we would need to amend so that we take out that 700,000. Yeah, because that's where it shows up again if you see that page. So if anything, that's the page that I would like to amend before it's officially adopted. And we can do that this evening, yeah, while you guys are still having a meeting.
Unless we're done, anybody else has anything on 23? Can we move to Fund 31?
Yeah.
I guess my question is, again, the fund balance and then what we're going to end with. Why is that so much when our payment is only $444,000?
Yep, and so this kind of goes a little bit to what I believe the district has been doing historically. So when bonds are issued, and we do that mill levy certification in December, districts can over-certify by a little bit, so that you are asking for a bit more than what we know is going to be the principal and interest payment in the upcoming year. And so my assumption has been that the district has over-certified that liability, and so that's what's created that $1.4 million in excess that we see at the bank. The general fund or any other funds that the district runs off of we cannot use that dollar figure right there. That is specifically for the debt service fund. But as you can see too, with historicals, we were not able to figure out what is those beginning fund balances actually in Fund 31. Just had to sort of base it off of what we saw as far as cash goes. But yeah, our overall, our outstanding liability each year has been $400,000. So we technically have, what is that, 3 to 4 years worth of principal sitting as far as fund balance goes.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, that's another one that we've been hoping with Dimitri's help we can figure out what amounts have been over-certified year over year. Because the practice would be, at least it tells me that we should drop down that certification in December to be more in alignment with the actual need that we have of that principal and interest amount.
But,
and I don't,
But there's no legal requirement to keep that much in there, is there?
No.
So would we ultimately need to under-certify to use up the excess?
Come on,
We can.
Well, can't we make a couple extra payments?
We can, yeah, you can do it in two extra payments. And or also, we can also start to under-certify. The one caveat that I will say to under-certifying is that when the district goes out in many years or multiple years or 2 years down the road when we want to get another bond issued, it's a little bit harder on the taxpayer if we have under-certified, because we would increase that base, that need on the taxpayer in order to increase the need that we would have on those new bond issuances. So that's the only area that I would say maybe not wanting to advise so much as let's look at, how much could we make in additional payments.
Yes, because our tax base is, people would struggle with that. I mean, they're very, anyway, yeah.
So we can have a conversation about an extra payment at any time, right?
That is correct, yeah.
And if we did make an extra payment, it wouldn't affect this budget, right? Or like this, it kind of would, because the fund balance would be different.
The fund balance would drop down, yeah. That's the only thing that would be different on the budget itself, would be that we would be using fund balance to make an additional payment. That would create another resolution that we would need to put in place, because that would be we would need permission to use fund balance. And so if that was the ask, we would have to put a resolution in place to have you guys approve that use of fund balance. Love the fact that you guys are asking questions. It's great.
Can we go to, I just have one more question. On Fund 43?
Yeah.
So that beginning fund balance is 746, right?
So to the best of what we were able to figure out, yes.
And so for this, we're going to move money from the general fund to this fund in $686,000. And so for capital projects, we got 1.4 million. Am I reading that right?
You are reading that correct, yes. I wanted to say the task list, Dr. K, I know that's wrong. The list of priorities of all the needs that were around the district, we are basing that on that $686,000 budget amount. Is that correct, Kim? As well? Yeah. So we are not wanting to touch that additional fund balance currently for those additional needs that we've identified around the district that we'll be addressing.
So that 746 is for emergencies.
Exactly. That is where, hopefully we don't need it.
Right.
But is building back up our capital reserve in case we do have an emergency, we'll be prepared for it. So the 686 is the budget we're going to prioritize on that list, because we want to make sure we're doing a good job with maintenance and not getting ourselves in a place in 5 years where everything's broke and we gotta, add everything, buy everything at that point.
So the 686 will cover the primary parking lot.
Exactly.
That money, okay.
And we have gone through all the priority 1s, 2s, and that some of it might adjust. I mean, we'll bring it to you up, but that 686 isn't adjusting. Like the backhoe is a good example. We realized we don't need the backhoe, and we had put in So that means we just gotta look at, okay, we have $75,000 that we were planning for a backhoe, but now we know we don't need it. So we will adjust it and come to the board.
Do you have a goal in mind to get that fund balance up to?
No, I don't. Right now, I don't have a goal in mind. Sarah, was there a standard practice of how much to have in the reserves?
We have talked about setting the specific purchase or specific needs in the capital reserve. And what I mean by that is if we can look forward a few years and look and see that we definitely know we're going to need to put a new boiler in X building, and knowing what that price is going to be, we can set those year-over-year transfer amounts that we can start to save for those future needs that we do know are coming down the track. So we've talked about doing something that's like a set amount of say $200,000, and $50,000 of that would go towards this boiler need, and we might have another X amount of thousands of dollars that goes for resurfacing the track or something like that. So that way we are increasing that fund balance for the use of future needs that are bigger priced items.
We're still working on getting what's that perfect balance of saving for the future and making sure we're using our dollars for our kids. So we don't want to have excess money there, but we want to have a good amount of savings that we're being responsible and we are thinking forward. And we could work on a number. We just haven't, with all the work we've done, we haven't sat and said, this is the amount we should be having in that account every month.
Yeah, and again, we haven't been in a position where we could do any transfers because of, looking at the shape that Fund 10 has been in and its losses year over year. We just haven't been in the space where we could even discuss going forward and doing something as far as transfers to 43 for capital improvements. But that is a goal that we have.
It's just really encouraging to see a black number all the way to the right after all those red ones.
And I would say probably the most encouraging is we are proposing a balanced budget, one that does not include deficit spending. That all of our expenditures are accounted for. We know exactly what we have, and we're excited to be able to bring that to you guys for your approval. That it is a balanced budget.
And if I'm reading this correct, if we stay on budget, we'll begin to build the reserves back up, and when we're doing this again next year, we'll start with 2.8 million, is that in the reserves?
Yes.
And we were down in reserves this year to less than $1 million, right?
Less than that, wasn't it, Sarah?
Yeah.
I mean, we were just worrying about making payroll, so I mean, we pretty much completed every reserve we had. You can see that with the burn rate.
motion to approve the 2026-2027 final budget and the appropriate amended budget resolution.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second to approve the 2026-2027 final budget and amended appropriation resolution. Any discussion?
I just want to say good job to Abacus and the team. I mean, at the last meeting, I was joking with Jared and mentioned about last year's budget. This is a lot better. Thank you.
Yeah, just really glad it's not $1 million deficit, but it's a surplus budget.
And I very rarely say anything, but I do want to say, on this kind of stuff, since I've been on the board, you guys have done an excellent job of expediting all this stuff, getting it in the form we've asked for, being ready for every board meeting. And so Abacus, Dr. Krumholtz, to everybody that's worked on this, I thank you very much because, I can honestly say now, hey, I think we're on the right track and I'm not worried about it at all. I always love a balanced budget anyway. But you guys, thank you very much. Yeah, you did this very quick. When I got on the board, I was thinking it would be a year before we got this under control, and you've done it in 6 months, from my point of view. So, thank you. Very good job.
All right, roll call.
Mrs. Ayala. Aye. Mr. Bickle.
Aye.
Mr. Colovitz.
Aye.
Mr. Salzburger.
Aye. All right. Item B, approved purchase of motor RTV.
So we tabled this last year because we didn't know what the budget was, because it was one of the items, so we tabled the Kubota. We use this for snow removal in the wintertime. We also will use it for the summertime. It'll be the property of the maintenance department, is where we'll house it. This is to replace one that was stolen. The question is, why didn't you use insurance? Because they didn't log it and didn't register the vehicle. So when it was stolen, we weren't able to claim it. But we will, of course, if approved, make sure we take care of that. But it'll be used year-round for our maintenance department. It's really with our property, we need to make sure we're keeping the snow removed and, doing a good job with all of our grounds.
Great utility.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of a Kubota.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to approve the purchase of the Kubota RTV in the amount of $27,800. Any discussion?
My opinion, this is already a lot of money. I know that we've had a little discussion that it is standard to have it as a diesel, but look at the new diesels and their standard, their new engines. When you don't burn them and run them hard like buses, they have filter issues. And with this type of Kubota, it's a long time of replacing those filters, and they start off at about $1,500 every time I have to take it in to repair it. And it's going to be often because we're not going to run it that hard, and we're going to just turn it on and idle it.
Wait, what do you mean by running it hard?
Running it hard, like you have to run it constantly. So we're going to do snow removal.
Oh, it's used constantly. During football season, that thing is used every day there's practice, so at games. So I would say 6 days a week it gets used in football. And that's running it around.
Well, we're going to use it for the maintenance first.
But it's going to get used. It's not like maintenance only, and it's going to sit there. I mean, it gets used. Snow removal, to me, if I was just sitting here thinking snow removal, I'd be like, how much can we get snow removal on that? But no, I mean, is it gonna replace the Gator? That's what you're saying, right? The stolen? Yeah, so it got used, I mean, as a utility vehicle. It was not just sitting there idling. But it was used on a daily basis. You know, I don't know. I never fueled it. I just turned it on and drove it. But that's how I know it gets used at the time. I don't know if it was diesel. I know it was bought when we redid the stadium. When we built that new stadium up at the high school. And that was 2010 was the first year. The spring of 2010. The spring of 2010. So I can't tell you what it was in the spring of 2010, but I will tell you it was used a great deal.
You see, that's my other thing too, because we can buy the same kind of thing, it'll do the same everything that this one will do. It'll cost us a lot less, and it'll just be gas powered. And it literally does the same thing, and it'll start up in the winter, really easy, we won't have to put extra fuel in it for a diesel. And we won't have to send it every time to the dealership to get its codes read and reset when it does the filter problem. I think we need to get the extra one, like the extra bid to see what the other ones are.
So are you looking like this from John Deere, I think?
Well, we have the other one for John Deere, it's expensive, the same thing, but I would just want to see the gas powered ones and see what they're compared to with the diesel ones. I know it's, I just want to see what the two different.
So we have the John Deere bid too,
Yeah,
but it's not in our packet.
it's not.
No.
Because I asked
didn't
for
put it
it.
in the packet, but.
I asked for it.
What's the
because
John Deere?
It's a lot more. But also I wanted to see what the one would be from, if we could check out Lamar's stores too, not just this, like, whole area. But I really want to see the gas ones too.
I think we need to keep it local.
I do too. I'm not saying Lamar's not local, but for this, Lamar is out of our local.
I agree with that.
Yeah, and I'm all for due diligence, but you've submitted the lower bid, right?
Yes.
And so I do see the problem with diesel, however, as someone who's owned diesels, we do not get that cold where a diesel's gonna gel. I mean, maybe in January or February, a handful of days, but I've never seen a diesel not start down here.
I know that, but the new diesels are different. So talking about the filtration systems and how you have to run hard and all that. So you're saying it'll run hard, so I believe that.
Yeah,
But why are we gonna spend extra on the diesel when we get the same thing with the regular gas?
So what's the difference? Does anybody know the difference between the gas and the diesel?
I was gonna say, I wish I could weigh in here, but I don't know anything about an RTV, so I assume that we sought advice from somebody to tell us why we needed a diesel versus a gas motor.
Well, we did, we looked at what was advised, industry standard, and that's what we were looking for.
And that would be for a big district or a smaller district. So that's why I was thinking, why are we spending extra money?
The size of the district doesn't matter. I think we would use it just as much. Fountain Fort Carson had it or we had it. We're gonna be using it. I mean, they might have more of a range of facilities, but I would think, I don't think it matters the size of the district. I think it matters the jobs you're doing, and we're plowing snow, we're hauling stuff, we're moving stuff.
This will facilitate our snow removal being more quick, completed more quickly.
Yes, and we had issues last year.
And issues to me translates to liability, which is a lot more expensive.
The Gator used to be able to do the gym parking lot and the sidewalks and everything. And then they would bring in like the heavy stuff sometimes. But I can remember walking to school and those guys plowing the walkways and all that with the Gator. Every now and then they bring the pickup in to do our parking lots when we have a lot. But you could do a lot of it with the Gator. And is it gonna be housed at the high school or at the maintenance?
Well, we're probably the maintenance shop.
Okay.
Because we have the issue where it got stolen last.
Right, so no, what I'm saying with that is that it benefits these other buildings besides the high school.
Yes.
So, I think it's gonna get a lot more use. I am not an expert on these, but I have driven enough of them, I've not bought any, that I know we drove that Gator tons of times. And so usage is not a problem. And if having that diesel is recommended for heavy usage, I would say we use it just as much as a big district. Especially with it being all the schools. You know, if they have a trailer, they can drive that up on and take it to the primary and use it there. And take it, yeah, I mean, I would say we need a heavy duty one.
And we did have some liability this year with snow a couple times where we weren't able to get to all of it, you know, using shovels and manpower.
Yeah,
That's something we can't control.
yeah.
And the gas ones are heavy duty too. They do the same exact thing.
But who has gas ones? Does Kubota have a gas
They
one?
have gas ones too. Even.
But they
John Deere
recommended
does.
the diesel.
But we also have to remember they know us as a district, and the school district always they always are like, oh, you have money.
Okay, well, I'm
It's
looking.
because of higher-
we don't.
So I'm looking at the sales man. The salesman definitely knows we don't have money. Because I'm looking, who took the order, and I know he knows we don't have money.
And I also think that's a conflict of interest too.
Because he doesn't work for us though. He works, so, okay, the fact that I get paid by an outside agency is a conflict of interest that I'm here on this school board too? I mean, he's not getting any money per se from this purchase.
Well, I will just jump in and say that, you know, we follow the process
Right.
with quotes. We're going to make sure that we always get not just one quote, that we're gonna go out and quote everything, and we'll continue to do that.
Yeah, I trust that you guys went and got what you need. I'm okay with it.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Ayala,
No.
Mr. Bickle,
Aye.
Mr. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Salzbrunner,
Aye. All right, on to new business. Item A, approve the CSD SIP 2627 renewal proposal document.
Yes, so, it's the amount that they're asking is $465,671. This is $57,000 less than we paid last year. There was a decrease of $964 due to the policy attached because a bus was sold, so we did sell some items, but we also didn't have a lot of claims. So the fact that we didn't have a lot of claims was able to get us a better quote on what we have to pay for our insurance.
The 964 decrease, that's the difference between 466, 635 and 465. Because that's the
It's a $57,000 decrease. So last year it was like 500 something thousand.
Any other questions?
Make a motion to approve the CSDSIP renewal for 2026 in the amount of $465,671. $465,671.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second to approve the CSD SIP 2026-2027 renewal in the amount of $465,671. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Mrs. Ayala,
Aye.
Mr. Bickle,
Aye.
Mr. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Salzbrunner.
Aye. Item B, approve the 26-27 Edgenuity, am I saying that right? Dr. Kim.
So this is our online platform that we use at both Tiger Trades and the high school. We use it for original credit recovery, but it covers all of the district, the secondary level. And we want to have some consistency, so we want to continue with our partnership with Edgenuity.
motion to approve the Edgenuity 26-27 renewal in the amount of $49,752.
Second. I have a motion and a second to approve the 2026-27 Edgenuity renewal in the amount of $49,752. Any discussion?
I guess I just want to make, we're approving all these expenditures, not because we're flush with money, but because it's the start of a new fiscal year, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not going on a spending spree. This is things we gotta do every year.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying. Anything else? All right, roll call.
Mrs. Ayala? Aye. Mr. Colvitz?
Aye.
Mr. Salisbury?
Aye. Item C, approve the Go Guardian renewal. Dr. K.
So this is our content filter and monitoring software for students. We use it at district level to make sure that our students and our staff are using the internet effectively. So this is the quote for Go Guardian.
Motion?
Motion for Go Guardian renewal.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the Go Guardian renewal in the amount of $34,875. Any discussion?
I guess I'm fine with this, and I don't have any problem renewing all these, but do we ever look at change? And I guess change is good and bad, but do we ever look at giving another quote or changing the
We
platform?
will. We didn't this year because we wanted to have some consistency with all the upheaval. We didn't have time because it's just like an adoption of a new curriculum. You want to go through and really take time with kids, have somebody model it and have some kids pilot it, and that's the proper process. We didn't have time to do that in a lot of these, but we will be evaluating and monitoring all the programs that we use.
And I'll tell you, I mean, having used Go Guardian, it's really friendly for old people like me. And so it's not a bad program at all. I used it a lot, so.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Ayala? Aye. Mr. Bickle?
Aye.
Mr. Colvitz?
Aye.
Mr. Salisbury?
Aye. Item D, the Pinnacle Insurance Premium.
So this is our workman's comp insurance. You will see that, we don't have a lot of control over these prices, but we did have a little bit of an increase in our premium, even though our number of employees went down. And a lot of that was simply, we had to go in and properly classify employees. We didn't have everything classified in the past correctly, so we're making those corrections. So we did see a little bit of a increase in the premium. And we also had some claims that, when you have claims, your premiums go up.
How much did it go up?
I don't remember. I could get that for you guys, but I just don't remember off the top of my head.
For our experience in audit on that.
What's that?
The experience part.
Honestly, I'm not sure. Richie is leading this, and Richie is, I should have said this, he's at a conference for insurance right now and HR, so that's why he's not here today. But I don't have enough expertise to answer that question.
I make a motion that we accept the Pinnacle quote for 2026.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the Pinnacle Insurance Premium in the amount of $151,648. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Mrs. Ayala? Aye. Mr. Bickle?
Aye.
Mr. Colvitz?
Aye.
Mr. Salzbrader.
Aye. Item E, Infinite Campus Renewal. Dr. King.
So let me go back to your question. Mr. Romero's watching it from his hotel. Experience mod will go down next year.
Hey, Richie.
Mr. Romero.
Thank you, Richie.
All right, Infinite Campus, sorry. I recommend approval of the annual renewal of Infinite Campus, which is our student database used by the district, an amount of $31,145.70. We use Infinite Campus for pretty much everything we do. We store all of our student data, not just now, but we have students in the past that are in there, all of our transcripts, attendance. That's something we've been using for quite a while. And Infinite Campus is one of the best that are out there.
I had a question. One of the principals walked out. I didn't, and you might be able to answer. Does our whole district use Infinite Campus?
Yes.
Okay, good, because when I left, it didn't. And that was some of the problem. Transferring grades and stuff, because the primary, of course, Julie walked out just when I was going to ask, was on trimesters at the time I left. And so the grades didn't, how do you, not equate, but didn't roll correctly in there. And so if everybody's on Infinite Campus, that's awesome, because it handles your reports and everything. Yeah, it's great, so. Okay, yeah, make a motion that we accept the Infinite Campus renewal.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the 26-27 Infinite Campus renewal in the amount of $31,145.70. Any discussion?
Like you're saying, because I remember what you said about the high school. I really don't like it. It really glitches out my phone. It comes on and off. I always have to call Mark to fix it.
So is that, I mean, you're talking about the automated stuff.
No, the whole thing.
Right, because I'll tell you from subbing in other districts, I wish Infinite Campus was just, all the reports are right there. I could generate my F list, my DF list, my whatever list, you know, I wanted to. I could do automated calls, but I also made personal phone calls. Because I wasn't a fan of the automated, I hate when the voice tells you, your kid is staying after school. But for snow days, school closures, I still get those. So, I mean, I think Infinite Campus is really good on that side. But as a teacher, with all the grading stuff, I really liked that. I mean, you get some programs that do one, some programs that do another. And I've never shopped around for this, but Infinite Campus does everything. I mean, I've never had to glitch my phone.
Mine all the time, and I don't get what you're getting.
I don't use it on my phone because the phone version is a little wonky.
It is
But
bad.
the computer version is.
Yeah, I don't ever put it, are you talking the app?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't use the app yet. I never have. I did it where, even when I took attendance in PE, it came right up, I would go through, it's not desktop anymore, but it's like your web browser. Google, and go to the Infinite Campus, log in that way, and bring it up. And I could take attendance right there. I didn't have to have my computer from my phone. It was.
Their main system is way better than their.
And I
Yeah.
can say from the person sending out transcripts over the summer, it's very handy to have all the past years.
Yeah. I mean, from somebody that's used it, yeah, I can see as a parent only seeing.
So,
Decided.
and then you said you could make calls with it?
I could set up my F list to where it would do an automated call, just like you're talking, how it glitches out your phone, and it would dial whatever number we had on hand and say, your student has a failing grade in world history. And give my name, Mr. Bickle. If you have any questions, here's his contact number.
Snow days.
Snow days.
I see to contact all of our families.
Basketball's a big hands one for tomorrow night, or tonight. Yeah, I mean,
Because there are some other ones I've seen at one of the other districts, which she was telling me because of how glitchy mine was, and I was complaining one night leaving a BOCES meeting, and they use a different their problems. And like I say, I don't get messages, it goes back and looks and it sees if you've seen it and all that kind of stuff. I kind of like that one because we still have to have messages through the intermediate school because like I can't use it on my phone. So I was looking at that one, I thought it was really interesting. I think it's a little cheaper than this one too, but I mean, I'd still use this one, but even thinking of all the other ones we use through all the other schools to just communicate with our teachers.
What is it?
I can't even remember what she texted me to see what it is, but something in the future to think about.
Yeah.
Like, still need this because you said transcripts, I mean, that's awesome, and you said it's great online, but like something for the future, we can all communicate, all schools, and they've done it, it's Rocky Ford. Whatever it is that Rocky Ford uses.
As long as
they
it
love it.
does their grades and stuff, because I'm on a campus, I can do my grades, I can do all that.
Well, I can tell you, it would take a lot of, we'd have to really be looking at it because the amount of work to move everything from IC, drive in a campus to a new system, to teach everybody.
Yeah.
We'd have to have a process of looking at it.
So this is great for you guys, but like for parents, it's hard to communicate. So this from like a parent perspective, I'm just saying like it is like I have one for Violet, I have one for Anakin, and when I had the other two kids, I had somebody at the high school, and I had, but we did have internet campus through all the schools when I had the Hamilton too, but originally it was just high school. But yeah, so it's rough, and I have it on my phone right now, but yeah, it's not fun.
I've never used the app, and like I said, I only use but you know what I'm
And
talking
we
about.
do like Class Dojo, and like there's like a whole bunch of different ones that we use. Like each teacher uses a different one sometimes, but isn't the intermediate?
But this isn't designed.
Yeah, not for that, yeah.
It's not designed for.
This other one does all of that, I think.
Like there's teacher
But yeah.
communication. That's something different. That's like Messenger. There's all kinds of different programs. This is our student database, and we have to make sure we have a very effective student
I think
database.
it does all that because it was at CASB and that's where they picked it up at. So, but if I need more information about it, but I say go with this one still. I'm just saying that there's another option out there that was just a little bit more user friendly for parents and everybody else. But yeah.
Well, and it seems like, with all of these, we could look at
Yeah, something.
competitors or alternate options for next year too. This is a good opportunity to do that for next year.
Yeah.
And prepare for that transition.
When everything isn't on fire.
Yeah.
Next year it's going to be so.
Yes, not everything's on fire, exactly.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Mrs. Ayala?
Aye.
Mr. Bickle?
Aye.
Mr. Colovitz?
Aye.
Mr. Salzburger?
Aye. Item F, approve the final site renewal.
So this is our website provider. I will say that our website, it's not the final site that has the issue, it's us as a user who got to do a better job of utilizing the tools on there, but it is a pretty decent website. We just have to do a better job of communicating and leveraging that website as a communication piece. And it's one of our priorities with the strategic plan of doing a better job social media, but also making sure we're doing a better job just updating and so it's live and interactive. So I will say that it's the issues we have with the website is user issues, not the actual website.
I make a motion that we approve the 2026-2027 final site renewal.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the 2026-27 final site renewal in the amount of $15,840. Any discussion?
Thank you for saying that, because I wasn't sure what it was.
All right, seeing none, roll call.
Mrs. Ayala?
Aye.
Mr. Bickle?
No, I'm just checking.
Mr. Colovitz?
Aye.
Mr. Salzburger?
Aye. Item G, NWEA renewal, Dr. K.
This is the most boring spending spree of all time. So this is our Northwest Evaluation Association. This is what we use to collect data. So our students take the NWA and it gives us its use as a predictor. So we're able to kind of gauge where our students are. We've been using it for a while. We use it for Tiger trades. We use our NWA data as the alternative. Education center, we're able to use some different ways to report out and to show our progress, but this is our system that we use for all of our benchmarking, all of our testing.
All right, I'll entertain a motion.
I motion that we approve the 2026, getting all punched up here, and NWEA funding.
Second?
A motion and a second to approve the 2026-2027 Northwest Evaluation Association renewal in the amount of $18,462.50. Any discussion?
And this is the district bill, right? I mean, for the whole district. Yeah, just want to make sure.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Ayala?
Aye.
Mr. Bickle?
Aye.
Mr. Coleman?
Aye.
Mr. Salzbreder?
Aye. Item H, approve the Clear Consulting quote. Dr. Day.
So every 3 years, we are required to have asbestos inspection. This is, the last one we had was in 2023, so we're due for it. This is a requirement, and the cost is $15,500.
Who makes the requirement?
State.
And what do we do with the information?
We obviously, if we don't pass, then we have to figure out what we're doing with the asbestos.
Remember what those ceilings looked like when you were in high school? They're still up there.
I know.
Is there a proactive, do we have to submit our reporting to them, or do we have to do the reports, have them on file, and if they come asking?
Well, if there's certain things that we triggered, then we have to make those corrections.
And is this in all of our buildings?
Yes. All of our assets, so yes.
Make a motion to approve the Clear Consulting quote in the amount of $15,500.
I second.
A motion and a second to approve the quote from Clear Consulting for our triennial asbestos inspection in the amount of $15,500. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Mrs. Ayala? Aye. Mr. Bickle?
Aye.
Mr. Coleman?
Aye.
Mr. Salzbreder?
Aye. Letter I, approve the revised exhibit GBBA-E-1 and revised regulation KLG-R on first revised final reading. Dr. May.
So this is, we're cleaning up job titles and salary scales that were kind of all over the map, and some of them we couldn't figure out. People got moved from one job to the other. So this is clean up and actually create salary schedule for a central office administrator, maintenance secretary, high school bookkeeper, so it is consistent, and that their actual, what they're getting paid is reflected in a salary schedule. The second one is the paraprofessional salary schedule. We currently have a 3-lane system for paraprofessionals where one-on-ones get on level 3. We want to eliminate that and just have one para salary schedule. It is kind of a nightmare, and sometimes the principals will make a decision, oh, we're going to move you to a one-on-one, and you might have somebody who's working on a one-on-one but getting paid at a different rate than someone who wasn't on a one-on-one, got moved over. So we just want to have be clean, have one consistent salary schedule for paraprofessionals. And moving forward, most of our paraprofessionals will be one-on-ones. We're not going to have that excess, so we just wanted to have a clean, it's so much easier for accounting, creating contracts, so we want to make sure we're clean. And we are moving everybody, we chose the 3rd lane instead of the 1st lane just to make sure it's consistent and we're doing what's right for our employees. So they're starting off on the highest of the 3 scales. And we're eliminating scale 1, scale 2, which were less, and this will really help us out, just being able to maintain, because right now Jill, Richie, and everybody in that department loses their minds over just that we have ridiculous amounts of salary schedule. We're trying to clean it up.
I make a motion to approve revised exhibit GDEA-E-1 and revised regulation KLG-R.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve revised exhibit GDBA-E-1 and regulation KLG-R on first reading as presented. Any discussion?
I just want to say, nice job getting it all up there. It's transparent. There's no guesswork reading it. So, nice job.
Roll call.
Mrs. Ayala. Aye. Mr. Bickle.
Aye.
Mr. Colvitz.
Aye.
Mr. Salzburger.
Aye. Item J, primary school parking lot repair, Dr. King.
So I recommend approval of the quote from TLM Construction in the amount of $29,860 for the primary school parking lot repair. I believe when we did the tour, you guys saw we have cracks in that parking lot that the size of the foot, so we want to make sure it's a safety thing. We want to get that fixed, and we will be able to have this. The work will be done before the school year starts.
I make a motion that we accept the TLM Constructor's primary parking lot repair bid.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the primary school parking lot repair bid from TLM Constructors in the amount of $29,860. Any discussion?
Just, I guess, I didn't see in this, is there a I don't know, a guarantee or how long, a warranty or something? Or is it?
There is, but I
It
don't.
starts to crack again,
There is a warranty. I don't remember what the details about it.
but there's,
Yes.
Well, and that would be, Richie would be the one kind of overseeing that, right? Right.
okay.
Also, they're going to repair that sidewalk that the park broke.
Oh,
It
yes.
says kind of right here that there's that extra 2,000 for that, right?
Yes, we're gonna, so that sidewalk that was broken and we just threw dirt on it for now. I mean, we're gonna go in and actually fix that sidewalk. 'Cause that thing was
Yeah, and they, TLM's the original one that did all the cement work for that school, and that's all held up, so they know what they're doing.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Ayala.
Aye.
Mr. Bickle.
Aye. Aye.
Mr. Colvitz.
Aye.
Mr. Salzburger.
Aye. Item K, certified staff employment renewal resolution 2026-2C.
Yes, this resolution is specifically for one of our critical shortage teachers. So one of our teachers was retired, and the math teacher, because we didn't originally have it on when we did all the certified staff, we had to do the resolution, plus with critical shortage, we got to make sure that it gets, we already are approved for critical shortage, but we will be hiring them out of the critical shortage. And staying within the budget, it's not going to increase our staff.
I make a motion that we accept resolution 2026-2C, the critical shortage staff.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the certified staff employment resolution 2026-2C as presented. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Mrs. Ayala.
Aye.
Mr. Bickle.
Aye.
Mr. Colvitz.
Aye.
Mr. Salzburger.
Aye. Item L, the YOIT LLC, Information Technology Services. Dr. Lee.
Yes, so I'm actually going to bring up a very patient guest. Austin Brunson will come up, or Burson, I'm sorry, Austin. He has been our partner with our cameras and security for how many years? 17. 17. So we will be moving, we're asking to outsource his company for our technology. Real quick, I'll open it up for questions for Austin, but we were not going to get our insurance premium. It was going to be a lot higher because we didn't have a lot of the things done we needed to have done that's required. Austin and his company have helped us make sure we are in compliance right now because they've been on the back end with our cameras and all the other security. So we're looking to outsource our technology department. We will continue to have Jack and Mark will continue to be our employees. That way we can guarantee we have that boots on the ground help that we need. But we're excited to have hopefully Austin in a different role. He's already our partner in the district, but expanding that role with technology. Austin, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, if you guys want to, I can kind of go through like a high-level overview of what we're doing, or I can just answer questions.
High-level would be great.
Okay. So what we're looking to do is just augment your existing staff. They're going to be day-to-day with users, solving problems, kind of doing what we would call help desk work. And really our role is going to be making sure that they have what they need, they have the tools they need, and that they're efficient in that. They'll receive some additional training that they haven't been able to pursue the last couple of years, and then we'll exist as a point of escalation. So if there's a problem that they feel like they can't solve, we're a message, a phone call, email away. We have high visibility on all of those items. Everything day to day is tracked via a ticketing system. So if there's something that isn't getting a response, or if the same user is kind of reporting the same issue and over, that's when we'll step in and we'll either help provide some training, or we'll figure out what that problem actually is so we can get a permanent solution in place. We'll kind of serve as the department head for the IT, so making sure that devices are put on a life cycle, so that way things are fixed before they break, and not just constantly run around trying to put out fires and solve problems. Strategic planning to make sure that over the next coming years we look at different things in terms of content filtering and all the different subscriptions that are involved, to making sure that the district is using funds most efficiently, and then just overall just looking to put the district in a better spot, making sure that compliance and all the check boxes that need to be checked for cyber insurance and everything at the state level, making sure that all those items are addressed appropriately, and that we have plans and procedures in place as the department.
One of the things I will say before we even began discussing this possibility, we had a meeting and it stuck with me when, I think I'm going to quote you, so if I misquote you, apologize, but it's not a matter of if we have the cyber attack, it's when, and we are woefully unprepared for that. Right now we're not, because of he stepped in and helped us in a role with our cameras. He's like, I'm already in your system, I can help take care of that. So we've crossed all those check boxes, but I know every employee who gets mad about the 2 verification, that's a requirement. I mean, I don't like 2 verification, but we have that in place. But right now, our system is in real danger. We didn't have backups. We weren't backing up any files. I mean, it was really a mess, and we're looking forward to have a partner who, we didn't have inventory for a lot of our equipment, computers, we didn't have life cycles, so we want to clear all that up. And I believe this is a good partnership.
To just kind of expand on that a little bit, very, very recently, within the last month and a half, there's a school district that's 50 miles southwest of you that fell victim to phishing. They received some emails impersonating a contractor their parents are working with, asking to update some bank info, and they did, and they sent them almost 6 figures. And fortunately, there was insurance in place for that. There was CITSIP in place for that. But kind of specifically what Dr. K was just talking to, one of those check boxes is security awareness training. So making sure that if you receive an email that's asking about ACH banking info, or if you receive any email or text message ever that uses the word kindly, knowing that that's a scam, and knowing to just mark that as phishing, delete it, don't interact with it. That's the checkbox that ultimately you guys were missing in order to meet a deadline of June 30th. So we rolled out just our training platform that we utilize for that, got the staff members trained, and then that took your guys' cyber coverage, I believe, from $100,000 to $1 million coverage, and reduced your premiums just for having that in place. We haven't sent a bill for that. We haven't sent a bill for the backups that we've been running. We haven't sent a bill for the 150, 180 hours that we've spent working with the existing department to kind of help get the school district closed out at the end of the year and things like that. We've done that simply just because we believe that we're already kind of partners and have a really good relationship. And it's in our best interest if we want to make improvements to the electronic security systems that we're not sending money to scammers and we're not increasing our insurance premiums and things like that. So we've kind of done our due diligence and make sure that we've pointed you guys in the right direction. And what we're looking to do with this is just making sure that that stays in the right direction, and then really just taking that to the next level and making sure that policies and procedures are in place to prevent those kind of attacks and just make the department efficient and effective.
Okay, I've got a couple of questions. All right, so you're doing all that with the network, right? Do you make any recommendations as far as, say, programs not to, like, say we want to run a program, I'll say an AutoCAD, just for that. Most tech directors, you call them and you're like, hey, you got these 3 programs I want to run. Do you offer that service as well?
Yeah, and that's kind of just part of like our strategic plan. So meeting with the administrators at each school and kind of having a forecast of what devices are being used for now, and if we're looking to, if there's a construction project, we're going to be involved in some capacity. But if there's a new ag teacher that's gung-ho about trying to teach some G code and getting some CNC machines and wanting to really pursue a vertical with that with the students, making sure that we have the foresight there so that the devices that are put in place there are capable of doing that. That's one thing that we'll be doing a lot, is just making sure that devices are capable for what they need to be capable of, but not at an exaggerated expense just because it is nice or has pretty colors or anything like that.
Yeah, my thing is, okay, so you're more of a consultant type of deal, and like, if I said, hey, I wanted to, and I'm just throwing this out, I want to do, I want to buy 4 3D printers and run a 3D printer class, what software do you recommend, and adapts to our security system?
Yeah.
We can run it, you offer that?
Yeah, we're going to walk side by side to that whole process, meeting with vendors for making sure that what you're looking for out of in that example, a 3D printer and the software that comes along with it is meets your needs, and kind of also make sure that if you're not in that role next year, that it's not a subscription we're locked into. It's not something that is only and it's something only you can use. And once we get through that, making sure that we work with, we'll be involved with anything infrastructure and making sure that Mark and Jack are part of that process to get something like that.
And that it works with our software, our network, and our, yeah.
Yes, sir.
And it's really important that we do a better job of approval, because if not, we could have like principals could say, I'm going to buy all these computers and they don't match it. They don't match our system, and it becomes more expensive to maintain and provide services. So having that consistency too, but that doesn't mean if a teacher doesn't say, hey, there's a use for this, we'll look at it and find the best solution.
Yeah, no, yeah, that was a great answer, because sometimes you're not dealing with the most tech savvy people, and they don't know it doesn't work with, they just think the internet is a switch they click on. So I just wanted to make sure that you're gonna be there to provide support for people that don't speak tech.
100%. Our job is to when you open your computer, it should work. When you traverse through the school, you shouldn't have Wi-Fi issues. If you need something, it just works. That's our responsibility. And honestly, I hope you kind of forget about us a little bit. More often than not, I'm at school board meetings not talking about a new opportunity or a new partnership. More often than not, it's just trying to justify why do we pay you this much money and our stuff just works. And that's more often than not the conversation we're having at this level, and we're excited to just excited not to be on defense.
As are we.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see that you answered my questions, so
It's YOIT.
YOIT, yeah.
I said that, and then I was like, well,
no offense, it's from Wyoming. We're not in Wyoming, are you based?
Cheyenne.
Go Cheyenne? Okay. I've got family. Yeah.
and you do currently work with other school districts.
Yeah, we've got, so I started at my high school, and then a year after that, I went and installed cameras at Chassis headquarters in Aurora, Colorado. I didn't meet Mr. Ozello there, Bud Ozello, but I somehow interacted with him, and then that's what led me down here in 2017 to talk about installing cameras at the high school. And then since then we've expanded to, now we do cameras, some of the alarm systems, and all of the access control system at all of your facilities. And then once we started really kind of doing a lot of work down here, then we're quick to do work in Chirac and Honey, Crowley County. We do work for the police department, sheriff's department down here, the city. We're pretty well established down here. We've hired a couple of your high school students. As always, just like any of our school districts that we partner with, if you've got high school students that are interested in IT or low voltage electrical, we're happy to offer them an apprenticeship or an hourly job. We've done that multiple times. One of our techs that's been with us the longest now was a student. So.
Well, then I mean, because I was teaching in 2017, so your cameras are awesome. Thank you.
Any other questions? Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the IT outsourcing quote from WYOIT.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the YOIT LLC quote in the amount of $24,819.84 as presented. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Mrs. Ayala? Aye. Mr. Bickle?
Aye.
Mr. Colvitz?
Aye.
Mr. Salzbrunner?
Aye. Thank you, Ross.
Thank you.
Item M, we're gonna run out of letters.
No.
Approve the ESEA General Assurances Form. Okay.
So this is a requirement that we recommend approval of the Elementary and Secondary Education Act. This form must be submitted in order to receive grant funds. So in order to get Title I funds, any of the funds we have to assure our partnership through this form.
Make a motion to approve the ESEA General Assurance Form.
I'll second it.
A motion and a second to approve the Elementary and Secondary Education Act form as presented. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Ayala? Aye. Mr. Bickle?
Aye.
Mr. Colvitz?
Aye.
Mr. Salzbrunner?
Aye. Item N, the Intergovernmental Agreement, IGA, for the School Resource Officer.
Yes, so this is the same amount that we approved last year. We met with the chief of police, and we wanted to make sure with all of our finances, we want to keep the SRO program going. It's very valuable, not just being reactive, but being proactive with our students and understanding, the safety and security. But we also wanted to make sure that we're able to, stay at that same rate with all the things we've been dealing with. So they were gracious, and we're bringing you the same exact salaries last year.
Motion?
Sure, I'll make a motion that we approve the 2026-2027 intergovernmental agency SRO agreement.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the 2026-2027 intergovernmental agreement for the school resource officer in the amount of $55,600. Any discussion?
Yeah, I just got one, and Richie's not here. Maybe Dr. K. So when I was up there, we had one SRO, and it made it awesome to deal with because one guy or one gal knew the kids. When I subbed, they had 3 different SROs up there. Are we going to have one SRO that gets to know the teachers and the kids, or is it going to be a rotation?
We have one, and we currently had one. The 3 were coming in and just kind of, the chief has asked them to come to the schools. So they would come and sit at lunch with the kids, but we really had the one SRO.
No, I'm talking, well, at the desk, when I subbed, sometimes you'd walk in and it was a guy with a dog. 2 days later, you'd walk in and it's a woman with the body cam. And so it's like, yeah, we take turns. And I always thought that was messy because you got 2 different people you're dealing with. And one was like, I understand, one was like, well, this is how we do it. So I just wanted to have one. Okay. That's my only answer.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Ayala? Aye. Mr. Bickle?
Aye.
Mr. Coleman?
Aye.
Mr. Salzberger?
Aye. Item O, Common Lit School Essentials Curriculum, Dr. K.
Yes, so this is the curriculum that we utilize for our 6th graders this year for language arts. Through the recommendation of TNTP, we are going to expand it to grade 6 through 9. We are going to do a full-blown curriculum investigation in the future, but we wanted to, for now, we want to have some consistency for those 6th graders going into middle school. So we are going to have this common lit essentials from grade 6 through 9. And, I like to take our time, but this is like, we felt we needed to do this now. It's little cost. We can always adjust moving forward, but we wanted to have a solid curriculum in place for our junior high students and our freshmen. So this will take care of all 6 through 9, and it'll have the vertical alignment. So a 6th grader going into the junior high, have the same consistency. It's not like I have this one language arts program, next year I switch, and the kids are just all over the place. And we really like this program, the partnership with TNTP. We feel like this is a good move for now to really provide some stability in the junior high.
How does it align with 10 through 12 and below?
So it aligns below, but we're going to look when we do the curriculum adoptions going further. We'll make sure it's aligned, but we know it's aligned coming up. And then we want to take care of this now and then create alignment with 10 through 12. But we're really looking at our scores, where we're at. We felt we had to put something in place. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Was the motion?
Make a motion to-
Okay, you go.
I make a motion to approve the purchase of Common Lit School Essential Curriculum.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the purchase of Common Lit School Essentials in the amount of $11,600 as presented. Any discussion?
Just, Brenda, you've looked at this thing, right? And Claudia, you guys currently use it, right? And so, I mean, that's awesome that it's going through. As a former teacher, I would like to see us pursue that, like you said, going up to the, 10 through 12, and in all states, because, yeah, so many times we jump, or, this district's been famous for the shiny star over there, and then we'll go to the shiny star over there. So we've got 2 administrators, and Jared, you're in all this too. That's awesome. I would encourage with this adoption, and if you guys really like it, then yeah, looking forward next year to aligning that 10 through 12 and pushing that through, because we really do need something in place for everybody. I mean, with that. So if
Well,
you guys
one of our priorities in the strategic plan was to have consistent curriculum.
Yeah.
And have curriculum that's standards-based, that's what the state's asking us to teach. There's a fancy education word, but it's curriculum. And that is one of our priorities, that we have quality curriculum and all kids can access it.
Right. Well, and I like that the 2 administrators that have used it are here. I mean, when I was here, we didn't have Jared the academic, that kind of. But it's not just something that's being pushed through because Miss So-and-so liked it in this room, and she's got good test work. So I like the fact that you guys have talked on it. You're on board with it. To me, yeah, that's awesome. As long as we stay with it.
And this is something we've talked about even at our accountability district meetings as parents too, is that we wanted this to flow. We want from the primary to the intermediate to the high school, well, junior and senior high school, to flow. So we have a curriculum that there are no bumps in the road, because we did notice with 3rd grade, as soon as they got here, it was like they were, and then we fixed that. It's a flow that we're wanting to just continue to the high school.
We're one team. We have to act like one team.
Well, and I'm glad that it's starting, and 2 administrators said we need to overlap in that. Because, for so long it's been, this is what the intermediate does. This is what instead of this is our broad overarching.
And I do want to add, we don't leave out George back there.
We'll be doing it with our 7th graders.
They're going to be using it at Tiger Trace.
I see, I forget you've got 7th graders. It used to be just 9 through, so yeah, I forget, yeah. Bless you. Yeah, so that's awesome too.
And this is a lot of work. It's been going on for quite a few years to get to this point.
Yeah.
A lot.
No, yeah, I agree. I mean, the best thing is the administrators know what's going on, because sometimes it used to be department head looked at it, this is my big thing and whatnot. So it's great that you guys know that it's a continuation.
Any other discussion?
Mrs. Ayala?
Aye.
Mr. Bickle?
Aye.
Mr. Colvitz?
Aye.
Mr. Salzburger?
Aye. Letter P.
All right. I just got a text, 1 SRO from Mr. Merrill.
Thank you, Richie. Thanks for staying with us, man.
And then, all right, last one. What did we say, letter P? P.
All right. Yes.
So I recommend the approval of the purchase of illustrative math workbooks for K through 9 in the amount of $33,000. No, we're currently, the district is purchasing consumables on an annual basis, but our math program that we brought in, that we had a lot of success, we want to expand it through grades 9. So again, same, just ditto language arts.
Ditto. Yeah. Okay, just make the motion ditto.
Make a motion. Make a motion to purchase the math curriculum,
I am.
yeah,
Illustrative math.
the illustrious
I am.
math, yeah.
Illustrious.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the purchase of illustrative math consumables for grades K through 9 in the amount of $33,122.85 as presented. Any discussion?
So are we gonna look into a line 10 through 12?
Yes.
And then
We just, like I said, we had to get something in place now.
Yeah,
We didn't want to wait.
I think that's what's important. And as long as you guys are going with this, and we're aligning, that's awesome. I remember the year we bought stuff and they wouldn't let us buy the consumables. It's like, holy crap. So you guys are the experts, you guys are thumbs up with it. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Good job.
on your note that the district is purchasing consumables annually, is it a note so that we know that that's going to continue, or is
Yes.
can you purchase multiple years if you decide you like it? You get a price break, or is that not the point of that?
Well, you still have to get the consumables every year.
The workbooks,
The workbooks that
They
the
will
students.
change.
Yeah.
and like I
Students
said,
write it.
I'm glad that you guys are doing that, because when we bought it, then they're like, now make copies on the copy machine. And then they're like, you're making too many copies. You know, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. So, I mean, as long as it's something you guys both say we're going, I mean, me personally, I will always approve those consumables.
Well, and
You
the
know,
last
that's
thing
something
is, in this is training too. It's
Wow.
in the quote, we're gonna take advantage of that to make sure, just like we did for elementary teachers last year, that we are trained to use it effectively, and provide the support our teachers need.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Ayala. Aye. Mr. Bickle.
Aye.
Mr. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Salzburger.
Aye. Number 10, board comments.
Thank you, administrators. I love it when we have people that actually deal with the stuff here and I have questions, because you are the ones that answer. You guys and the teachers. And I cannot thank you enough as a board person who, you know, likes to draw you guys in for being here. Thank you very much.
Just want to, I think, it might have come and gone, but we're in the Dr. K's 1-year anniversary.
We won't hold that against me.
So, I mean, it's been quite a year. And I don't think when you took this job, you knew exactly what you were getting into. But I appreciate everything you've done and how it's just been really good to work with, and I just appreciate it. I'm glad you're here. So, and I just want to say thanks to all the staff, not just for what they've done over the last year, but for everything they do in the summer. They never really, their staff is always doing something with kids and for kids in the summer. And so that is appreciated. And finally, congratulations to you and your team and your 4-Hers. That's great. And that's another example of,
Yes, that's good.
they work during the summer, have the support. So congratulations.
Yes, I wanted to go off on that. We do have a 4-H club in the district, and so everybody's welcome, even Clover Buds. We do have other kids in other 4-H clubs in the district, but it's at Tiger Trades, so we have it's quite a few kids actually. But we'll go off of what we just started our season, I would say, of winning. So we have a robotics ag team, and we got 2 of them. But there's actually more kids on there. There's Carmen Martinez and Gia, oh my gosh, Gerhardt. But no, they weren't able to go to the Fort Collins thing because one of them had a vacation and the other one joined late. But we went up. This was our first time going up. We went all the way up to CSU campus, and it was during the big convention time that they have for 4-H. It's when they elect their state leaders and stuff like that. And so we went up there for their ag robotics tournament. So we had 2 teams, and it was, I don't remember everybody's name and where they placed and everything. We had Mars Danner and Hunter Taylor that were on the senior team. They placed 3rd in their senior competition. And then there was Anakin Ayala and AJ Erickson Martinez, and they placed also 3rd in the state, and they're intermediate. But they're at the high school. They're high school students, and the other 2 were from Tiger Trades. They did excellent, and the thing we got from the leaders of the state is that they were so well-mannered and so respectful, and that their sportsman-like conduct was so out of this world because they were cheering on all the other teams. It was so great. It was a great experience for all of them. And then So also, I'm just gonna mention it now, but we also have other kids in the district, like I mentioned. We had a big shooting event on Saturday. I don't know everybody's scores. Also, Mars Danner also got third place, and that's against, I think, 7 different counties. He got third place in 22 rifle. So that's extremely amazing too. So, and that's his first time, by the way. And then I also wanted to shout out to Diana Remick, because she got Teacher of the Week last week from the Department of Education. And she was also runner-up for Teacher of the Year. That's about it.
I just wanted to note that we had a pretty significant agenda tonight and recognize the work that went into getting all of these things together and done and allowing us to move the district forward to become more proactive than reactive. Steps in that direction have been long overdue, and I'm glad that this is happening. So really pleased with the progress we're making, and just a big thank you to central office staff who made all of this stuff happen, to the rest of the staff for sticking with us and moving the district forward into the upcoming school year, and looking forward to that and moving toward that gold standard. Anything else? All right, I will adjourn this meeting at 8:49. I think, yeah.
Hell, I'm not even more than one.